So normally whenever we are accessing values, okay, so without, if it's not private, that means it's public, we can follow this approach, object1.a, object2.a. But if this is private, okay, we have to call a function to assign values and output values. And to call that function, we call it set a and set b. For both objects, we call the set a function with the values 10 and 99. So it's the same values we have here, just instead of directly accessing a, now we have to pass it to a function. This function will do some checking and then assign the values. And then same way, normally without, if it's a public, we can directly print, but as this is not public, this is a private, we have to call a function for the output as well. So finally we'll have this two output. So this is a basic difference between declaring a value, a variable, public and private. So I hope this is a clear. Now, as you can see, this function is very simple. All is doing is just taking an input and passing it to a variable. We will make the functions complicated as we learn more about C++. But for now, we are not doing any checking. We're just passing the values to the variable. So I hope you are clear about this. Now, there's another program I will show you, and we'll then finish the class. So the next question is from here. The problem arises from here, that whenever I want to take an output, if you look closely, what this function does, this is the output function, right? It gives us the value of a. Now, what this function does, it returns a. Now, the problem is, we know that whenever we return, it actually comes back to the main function. But what if we have two values, like a and b? So in that case, if we return a, the values of b will not be available. Again, what if we have two values, or we can have multiple values, like in a normal, whenever if you work on a project, okay, in a get functions or in an input function, you might have 10 values. Okay, so you have to input 10 and you have to show 10 values as well. In that case, using the return is actually not useful, because return means your program will exit from here. Okay, so in that case, what we can do, so here is another example. So exactly what we can do. So let's assume here I have two numbers, okay, integer number and float cost. So I will input these two values, both of them are private, and I will show you how to output these two values. Now, if you can show it for two values, you can do it for 10, you can do it for 20, you can do it for 100, right? The basic idea is same. Now, starting with this one, so again, first you have to declare the functions, as this is a private, so void get data. And in this one, you see there are two parameters. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, two parameters. And in this one, this is the output function. You see, in the output function, what we are doing, we are, instead of typing return, we are directly using the console output. We are using the console output. So that is the difference between a normal function, output, and when you have multiple outputs. So in the last one, in the function details, if I let me go back here. So in this one, we have typed the console output into the main function. Okay, so this was the last example that we've seen. But in this case, okay, we are writing the console output in the output function, or the print function, or the put data function. The name is not important. Again, you can use any name you want. Okay, and this is the get function, so for the input. Now let's see the description of get. So as you can see, get data is same as the last one. First the return type, then item. Why this is item? Because my class name is item. Okay, if the class name was a, it will be a. If the class name was b, it will be b. So class name item, that's why it's item. Get data is the name of the function, and we have now two parameters. Okay, first one is for number, second one is for float cost. So number and cost. So first one is for number, second one is for cost. So we are assigning these two values. And then again, from the main function, what we're doing, we're first declaring an object, item x, like same as integer a. Okay, then we are printing console output object x. That means I will print the values of object x. Then x dot get data, we are calling the function to give the input. So get data passes 100 and 299.5, and then it will print the values. So it will print 100 and 299.5. And same way we'll call, again, we'll declare another item, another object, item y. Okay, and then we will like integer b, and then we'll console output, we'll call the get function to input values, and then we will put data. It will print 200 and 175.50. so there is actually no difference. Previously we just declared both object at once. You can do it here as well, and then we took the input at once and printed at once. Now what we did, we first declared x, then we taken input, and then we have taken input y and we have printed the y. So that's it.